The Dark Zone in Marvel Future Revolution. Very, very important. How do you get some of these best rewards? How do you get the damage? What are the rewards that you're going for? We're talking about all about that in this video. And if you're ready for it, find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Yo, what is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel, ValleyFlyin 76 channel, for more great Marvel Future Revolution content. And in this video, we are talking all about the Dark Zone, one of the more important places that you're going to be with your characters in the end game of Marvel Future Revolution. Now, because I'm kind of new at this game, I'm still getting my feet. I got two of my best buddies here that are experts in Marvel Future Revolution. So without further ado, let's welcome our two Dark Zone experts here. We have Halfsen, we have Remanx, and these guys are kicking butt in the Dark Zone on a daily basis. What is up, guys? Tony, how are you enjoying Marvel Future Revolution right now?
Well, I was one of, or the first person to get all of my characters to level 100, so I guess it's going swimmingly so far. I'm really having a lot of fun, and I get to play with my buddy Remanx every day, and we're poised to be one of the, I think we're the biggest and best alliance right now in the game, and we're making some noise in the Dark Zone, so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Remanx, you are the mastermind behind this X-Force alliance. How are you enjoying Marvel Future Revolution and destroying all the measly peasant alliances like mine?
So we actually have a plan to make sure that people can participate. We'll talk about that at the end here.
All right.
But I think one of the important things is understanding like why to participate, what's in it for you to spend time in the Dark Zone, and really kind of how to maximize your time and effort in there. And I think I'd like to talk about that today.
Well, what is the answer to that question, Remanx? Why should we be participating in the Dark Zone? Because when I go in here, I'm spending time in here and I'm getting some cards. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of great rewards. So why should people be participating in the Dark Zone?
So one of the things is Dark Zone, and we'll talk about this more in depth, is really kind of like an alliance activity, right? It's what you do with your alliance. It's the only thing that really not being in a group, it's the only thing you really can't do with your friends, right, that aren't in your alliance. So it's an alliance activity, and I think that's what people kind of forget about, is like if you have a large group of active people, you can bring them here and kind of control the outcome. So the idea is you're going to get through your ranking at the end of a week. You get these Dark Zone boxes that actually have up to 6-star badges in there, and those 6-star badges are pretty impressive. And you know, realistically, some of those are exclusive bonuses that you don't get anywhere else. You might get them from the Omega War boxes, but I think you actually, I saw the Omega War had like an overlap here, but just not to focus on it. It's more badges to help enhance your character.
So is it more for the badges or the cards? Well, because I mean, the sense of community is cool, but I want to get my characters up, right? So what are the cool rewards? Is it the badges, the cards, or all of it?
The chance for the 6-star badges that are only available through the Dark Zone, and the cards that are available on the Prime bosses. So we're gonna have that resource. I'll give you a link to my Discord and the channel that it's in. We'll have the resource up there. We should be finalizing that in the next few hours here. There are some really cool cards that are only accessible through there. That are finalizing some of the sets that people have been looking for, that people have been trying to build. So, and
what is the resource? It's about all the cards that you guys are working on right now.
So the cards are kind of like a big deal when you kill the Prime bosses. But let's talk about something. So how to get points, right? I think people forget that, right? And so maybe they go in there when X-Force is in there, or they're going in there when Whale Pod's in there, and they're frustrated because these guys are killing all the bosses. Well, they're killing them in the prime time. So maybe you're
can explain about that, because what is prime time and non-prime time? Actually, before we get into that, can you give me an example of some of these awesome rewards that you're looking for? Because
do me a quick favor. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your collection on your screen. So go into go into your main screen.
Okay.
We'll pause it for a second. You may have to edit this on Valley. I'm sorry, and you're going to have to.
No worries. We're keeping going. We're not editing at all. We're this character section here. This part?
The upper right hand corner, the hamburger menu.
Okay, this part.
And you'll be able to select. You're going to select records.
Records. Okay.
Then you're going to select collection.
Collection. All right.
And then you collect battle badges.
Battle badges. So All right, so these
Right,
are
and
some
the
battle badges.
level 100 battle badges. So look at the very bottom, right? Look at like the Daughter of Thanos, right? The Daughter of Thanos is a good example. On the bottom, take a look at those. So these are exclusively dropping right now in the Dark Zone.
Okay.
Bottom of the 6.
So we have none of these, but are these some of the best badges in the game?
Yeah. So they have the chance to. If you look at there, they have like defense pierce. So they have some. They have some very unique differential. If you click on the Mad Scientist, you'll see there's different bonuses from these badges. And these exclusively drop from the Dark Zone inside of the.
Nice.
The boxes here.
And when do these drop? They drop when you take the normal bosses, prime bosses. You just got to
These drop at the end of the week. We don't know if they drop from bosses, but they drop at the end of the week in those boxes.
Okay, so
from the Dark Zone boxes. So you got a purple badge of one of those at some point.
Okay, I must have missed it or something. All right, I might have sold that actually. All right. So in addition to those badges, we got cards. What are some of the card sets that is exclusive to the Dark Zone?
If you look at the Dark Zone cards, some of those cards, and we're lining them up for you guys. Some of these Dark Zone sets, some of these cards drop exclusively off the bottom. The Dark Zone, I think it's like 3, 4, and 5 here. Some cards only drop from the Dark Zone.
Okay.
So I will have that. I'll have that as a resource for you guys in my Discord. You guys can take a look at that. Like I said, we'll have all that. You'll be able to see like where each one drops and what boss to do. So because you have a limited number of attempts on bosses to get these to drop. So going in there and killing a prime.
And what are the amounts of attempts? Because you have a certain amount for prime bosses that you could kill for the rewards and certain normal bosses. What are the limits on that for per day?
You get two prime and I want to say 5 regulars, just the same way as it is outside of the normal zone.
All right.
So it's exactly as a normal world. So that's why you want to go in there and kind of work with a group. So again, it's designed as an alliance activity. And so one of the things is the hot times when the rate up. So two times a day at my time, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, so 6 p.m. Pacific. And then it's at 1 p.m. Eastern.
What are these? What does that hot time mean?
You get, so everything that you, or all the points you earn are doubled.
Okay.
So it's specifically for ranking points.
Now, Tony, where's the best, most efficient way to get these points?
So there are 2 thought processes when you go into Dark Zone, and that's whether or not you're an alliance mate. For us, we're trying to rank highly so we can get more of those rewards, open more boxes. And there are people that are... it's kind of a crass title that I feel like they've given themselves. This is that you are leeching.
What is it called?
That you are there to leach. And
leechers.
Kind of
That's a common thing in video games.
So, for instance, last night Wolverthor joined us, and it's just a tongue-in-cheek joke perspective to look at it. But basically, you're either in the alliance, you do damage, and efficiently kill things as quickly as possible and move on from boss to boss. So when you're in the zone, there'll be typically 2 people that flag, sometimes 3, depending on if you have to reflag. There is a cooldown timer on the flagging. So if someone misflags, someone can catch up and reflag for them.
What is this?
So everyone is going in the right direction.
What is this flagging that you're talking about? How do you? How would I do that? I'm in solo right now without the alliance, but how would I go in and flag this for my?
Click on your mini map right now.
Okay. Oh, Laufey's chasing me. Hold on, I got to get away from Laufey for a little bit, otherwise he's gonna kill me. All right. So there's a mini map.
At the bottom right, you'll have a flag, and you can set that flag for your alliance.
Okay, so this thing right here goes. Everyone in the alliance knows what that is.
Yeah.
So
that is awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually a really cool tool to have inside there. So basically we mark characters by what's going to be spawning, so we can tell people, where to go for the next boss.
Okay, so and that flag appears for everybody in the alliance if you post that on. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Now, damage. We've got a couple different enemies. We got these normal enemies that we see running around. We got the normal boss, and then we get the prime bosses. What do you feel is the most efficient way of getting some of these things? Going after the normal enemies? Should you do any of that? Is there any value for that? Mm-hmm. Only the normal bosses, or do you guys go exclusively prime bosses?
It's a mix for sure, because sometimes there's placeholders. So you have to kill the placeholders, get the primes. And then there are prime bosses that the juice is not worth quite the squeeze as some of the other ones. There are prime bosses that take a little bit longer. This is all about making time. So this is being as efficient as possible and trying to tear through the bosses as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So once the rally point is set, the Alliance and the Leechers, it's a funny name to call them, but the Alliance mates are trying to do as much damage as possible, whereas the people that are not part of the Alliance, that are there to tag along, their job is to just tag and get out. And it's simply just from a perspective of us sharing the experience, the points, and the rewards. We don't get anything for it, except it helps marginally for DPS. Very, very unnoticeable. The only caveat that comes to that is if you get too close to the monster, you do run the risk of getting killed. And that's just goes along with the, that's just part of the trade-off. And as an example, there was a point in time now, Perry, he just joined our alliance. Previous to Perry joining our alliance, he was one of the leeches that would join us, and he would come in and tag. He was actually ranked one spot right underneath me. And for all intents and purposes, I was usually leading the DPS charts. So that means someone that was not participating really except for just hanging out was actually ranked just below me by one rank in the rankings just by tagging and getting out. Whereas I'm effectively doing all the work, and we were ranked pretty evenly. So there's a great benefit to just hanging out with us. And there's been a poor perspective that's been taken that getting killed was somehow a bad thing. It's just part of it if you're not in the alliance. So you can still do very, very well. So effectively what your mindset is, if you are an alliance participant, is that you are making boss killer builds. So your thinking is that I want the most effective build at destroying and melting bosses as quickly as possible. So those are the builds that you go in with. And then for someone that has a different role like Remanx, he is trying to make it so everyone can stay on the board long enough to do so, because he is a tank build. So
okay,
yeah. So I'm gonna let's talk a little bit about point earning. So I'm gonna do a quick breakdown. So we're gonna talk about like what I think people should be focusing on after I make the breakdown. So
let's do this. This is important.
First things first. Everybody gets from a prime boss. I want to say they get 60 points from a prime boss during prime time, so 30 points.
Now you
prime.
say everybody,
and then the person.
Is that even for the people that jump in, make one hit, and then leave?
Make one hit and leave, as long as So that's something to be. So the last hit, guys, is what the Alliance guards very specific on a prime boss. You're getting 300 points as the last hit, and you're getting and obviously that's doubled, so it's 150 off peak. So the problem we have with that is alliances that are controlling it they don't want you to do the last hit, or they will kill you. That is just something you need to understand. They want to make sure their alliance is getting those points and having them distributed.
So if you're in a non-alliance joining that, just so make sure you're not around for the last hit.
Yeah, get your hit, move on, get out of there if you can, because again, they're going to be trying to focus and burn these down. But if you're building your alliance up, again, think about efficiency, think about how to, like I provide defense down. We actually call out burns and make sure that the DPS is on target to blow this stuff up. That being said, the regular bosses are considerably less. You get, I think it's, I want to say 60 points for a killing blow. So obviously 30 points, and then it's 10 points for a kill and 20 points when doubled. And so that's it. Those are the point earning. The other way to get points are by picking up, we call them the mushrooms, these remnants of chaos. They're worth 1 to 3 points, so they're worth double. They're worth obviously between 2 to 6 points. And so that's what you get for points outside of that. So the idea is, if you want to participate in the boss kills and get some more points, or you can go around picking mushrooms.
Okay, so I'm picking mushrooms right now because I don't think I can solo any of these bosses at my power level.
Now these little guys have zero purpose other than the fact that they do drop drop like minor badges. But I will tell you right now that the reason why you do this is to build up like ultimate meter. So you might want to, like, between bosses.
I see. Okay. Yeah, just for your ultimate meter. Now, have you heard of them dropping any like real major badges that you would actually equip on a characters, or just more fodder to get the converge them in gold?
So we're probably about 3 weeks in from where we've really started to focus on the dark zone and understanding everything. And we're gathering data. I don't see that these things are dropping any badges, and I don't think my alliance mates.
So these are mainly what you see. Just these are ultimate meter fodder to get your ultimate meter up and move on. Don't spend any time really worrying about these guys.
Yeah, they don't have any points on them. Next, okay. the last piece of the puzzle is, is realistically, so you're not in a big alliance. What do you do?
Well, no, yes, that was my question. If we're kind of getting to the point to try to organize to get to the point where you guys are at, daily raids, everybody going in. What are some tips that you could provide to some of the smaller alliances or alliances that are starting to get organized to get it to the place where you guys are at as quickly as possible?
So the idea is if you guys got about 7 to 10 members that are active during a time slot, I would say go into a non-prime spot, only because you're not gonna have as much lag or whatever. Invite other people to say, hey, we're gonna do an off-peak run. You should still get a reasonable number of points. You're just not gonna get those double number of points. Focus on coordinating with your alliance. Now remember, we don't know how many zones are gonna finalize as the server grows, but I do suspect that PvP currently isn't in probably their finalized state. They're probably going to turn points back on. So there probably will be contention, and, controlling Dark Zone during a prime time will probably change at some point here. So what I will say is go non-prime, get used to killing some bosses, and then maybe you could probably challenge one of the alliances that are potentially claiming, one of the top slots during one of the time zones. So I do know that. And I think that's so it's mostly an alliance activity. If you have some people that you want to bring along, one thing we do is we'll try to put people in a group with our big AoEers with a lot of damage. So because if you're in a group, you will not take damage from the people in your group, but your alliance mates will still hit them. Now, if you look at over to your right side, you'll see the little scales there. There's 3 different settings there, and we're going to talk about those.
Yes. So attacking villains, attacking hostile players, and then either one. But even if you're just attacking villains, that AoE can still kill everybody, even if there's someone around. So that's why you want to be aware of the prime bosses. Now, that's some good tips for building up alliance, going in and doing the non-prime bosses when they're less competitive, especially in non-peak times. Now, some tips that people were giving on stream was going in at these peak times, getting one hit on the prime boss and getting out of there and just getting points that way. Is that something you suggest for solo players that maybe don't have the alliance? Is that something that anybody that is doing, Tony?
So Tony, you can actually watch Tony's stream. So Tony will talk about it.
Yeah. So what do you?
I feel like it's important to get a kind of a heads up first. We do appreciate knowing what your intent is. At the end of the day, the aforementioned leech players or the people that they're our friends. They're there typically because we have that understanding already that you're going to be there to hang out. Sometimes what can happen, like Rem said, is that you can have players that are trying to get the last shot or their intentions are unclear, and we see people that we don't know hanging out. And we see you trying to unload at the last second, or you're hanging out in the middle next to the monster, you get killed. At the end of the day, those people that are there to hang out, we get very little return on killing you. We don't want to. And ultimately, if you're there to tag and get out, we just like to have that relationship with you first. So we know why you're there, and that if you get killed, you're not going to go on global chat and complain that X-Force is we're
sounds kind of stressful. Sounds stressful. You gotta let people know that you're there to get one hit. That's you guys are ruthless. All right, so
realistically, the bottom line is some people might be positioning themselves with like a Black Widow that's trying to get that last hit and steal from our alliance.
I'll go into leaderboards for Dark Zone just for a second, just to double down on what.
Where do I find that? I don't know where to find that.
Upper right hand side, but the records and then rankings.
Rankings for Dark Zone. Okay.
Yep. Now click on Dark Zone. Now you notice something with the top players. They're all Black Widows. Except for
well, we can just see the top 3. We can't see everybody else, but the top 3 is all Black Widows. There.
Yeah. So last night when we were done, 8 of the top 10 players in Dark Zone for points were Black Widows. So the reason for that is out of stealth, they have the sniper shot where they can hit upwards of, which who knows, in a week or two could be near $2 million in damage. So with that, effectively, they are able to get the extra points that you get from obtaining a kill shot on a boss. And then on a prime, that is even more. So you're talking about big numbers potentially here. So what happens is early on when we were first testing the game out, and we were some of the first people to go into Dark Zone, Black Widows were having a heyday because there was much more return on PvP. So now that that's changed, they still have that same dynamic, but they have it with boss monsters, and that's that you can get kill shots on the bad guys. And so we would run into a problem where Black Widows would come in, they would try to snipe shots, or you'd have Captain Americas using their ult at the last second to try to, just things like that. So that contradicts what we're in there for. Ultimately, we're in there to help our alliance out, and we'll help other people out if you just tag and get out. So,
all right. Well, that sounds pretty good. Any other final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up about the Dark Zone? I think that's pretty complete as a solo player, as a low alliance, or as a big alliance. There's different strategies that you could do to help get you some points, but I think this was informative to answer some of my questions. Anything else that either of you guys want to discuss? Have send anything else before we wrap it up?
So yeah, if you're my closing statement would be that if you're in an alliance that wants to do Dark Zone, make a build that is specifically geared towards melting bosses, and you're in good shape. That's effectively all you're in there for at the end of the day, is just kill as many bosses as possible, as efficiently as possible.
Any other thoughts, Remanx?
Yeah, so if you guys want to take a look at what we're doing, we're pretty open and transparent about it. You guys can take a look at Tony is streaming our call outs and whatnot during our run. So take a look at on his Twitch channel. You'll have the link in here. You guys can hop on our voice and Discord and hang out with us while we're doing that. We want you guys to learn about the efficiency. And again, we're extremely transparent because I think it's fun and helps you guys grow. And we want to see people having more fun and engaged in the game.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for helping explain about some of these intricacies of the Dark Zone. I will see you guys next time. We're going to go over to both of your channels and talk about stuff. Tony, what are we talking about on your channel? Something.
Why not boss killers? Boss killing builds and how we get there.
All right, and Remanx, then we're going to go over to your channel. What are we talking about there?
We're going to be talking about alliance growth and how to help your alliance grow and what your responsibility as an alliance mate is every day.
Ooh. I'm curious about both of these topics for my personal account. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys later. Give me that Hulk fist, but before you go, ValleyFlyin, Half Cent, Remanx, out.